BWF Solicitors, we take pride in our clients' service. As a niche law practice, we are conscious of the demands of our clients. We always offer a friendly, listening ear and sympathetic attitude. We've worked with thousands of people all across the UK in all areas of personal legal services. We have received great feedback and reviews from our clients. We are located at Seven Sisters in Tottenham on the 4th floor of the Anna House, right on top of the Victoria Line train station for your utmost convenience. We have a friendly office and provide all of the refreshments necessary while you wait to see a lawyer. We are dedicated to our clients and have a successful record of serving our clients. Solicitors of England and Wales are of high quality and are bound by the highest professional standards. We are officers of the court and are bound by standards of integrity, competence and conduct as part of our responsibility to uphold rule of law. Our solicitors and lawyers care about your case and are committed to providing the best possible service to you in the most considerate and careful manner. We hold 2 Law Society quality marks. Law Society accreditation helps to demonstrate that we have attained the requisite standard in the area of law and have the requisite expertise. BWF Solicitors, we're here to help you with your legal services when you need us.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon, welcome to Heritage TV, your very own station, and it's hanging out with Vicky. I must sincerely apologize for the late start of the show. Circumstances beyond our control, there was nothing we could do about it, but thank God everything is sorted and we are with you. Today we have our very own partner and lawyer at BWF Solicitors. And she's here to speak to us about how to apply for fee waiver during your application. This is one of the common questions people do ask when they are applying, for an extension or putting in an application. Before I introduce our learned lawyer, I would like to give a shout out to Mrs. Cynthia Brown. She's manager at BWF Solicitors, and today is her birthday. So Cynthia, happy birthday to you. On behalf of Heritage TV, we wish you long life and prosperity. Our sponsors are Victim Estates, your very own property company. If you want to contact them, it's 074-861-9711. Without wasting my time, let me straight introduce you to Mrs. Eunice Achampon. Hello, Eunice.
Hi, Vicky. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. And you?
I'm doing well by God's grace.
Good.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you so much for your patience when we were trying to sort out few things.
Fine.
Yeah, before the start of the show. I hope the family are good.
They are doing well, and I hope your week has been good.
Good. Right. Yes, Lawyer Eunice, for some time now we are only touching on topics that are very popular, topics that a lot of people keep asking. And today we've chosen the topic, applying for a fee waiver during application. So if I may ask, what is a fee waiver?
Okay, so in general, let me give a brief background as to how the fee waiver came about.
Right.
So in 2012, there was a case called R. Omar where the applicant could not afford to pay the Home Office fee and was looking to have the fee waived off, or to have it, put aside so that he could make an application and then obviously have leave to remain in the UK. In this case, unfortunately, he didn't have the opportunity to ask for the fee to be waived, and he had to do a JR case where the High Court looked at the circumstances of his case and obviously said that he was making a human rights application, and in such a situation, if the Home Office or the law had not provided for the fees to be waived, then in such a case, they would say that it was incompatible with his human rights. On the law in that at that time was the Immigration and Nationality Fees Regulation 2010, and there was no provision whatsoever for the fees to be waived in his circumstances. And so, because the High Court has said that in that circumstance where he was making an application based on his human rights, um, usually when we say human rights will encompass a lot of the rights that we have under the European Convention of Human Rights. So an example of that will be Article 8, where we say somebody has the right to private life and a family life in the UK, for instance. And in his circumstance, there was no provision where the fee could be paid. And so the court was basically telling Parliament, you have to make this provision available so that people who are making applications based on, let's say, their private life or human um, rights, basically would be able to make an application if they cannot afford it. And then following from that, we had the case of Al Carter in 2014. And that case also mentioned the fact that if somebody has provided evidence and they've shown you, well, there's no way I can afford to pay for these fees, and there's nothing I can do because even the people that help me here and there cannot even help me pay for the fees. And so, if there has been provision of evidence that somebody cannot afford to pay the fees, then obviously the Home Office policy should give that person that opportunity to present those evidence and say, because of the fact that I cannot afford it, can you now make it available for me to have the fees waived so that I can make the application for further leave to remain? And so, in that instance, the Home Office had to also now put together new policies so that it could now consider evidence that somebody has no means of paying the fees, and therefore that would be another requirement that they will have to look at in terms of the fee waiver. And then very recently in May, we had the case of Nicolegiston, where a family of 5 made an application, and they made the application based on the fact that they couldn't afford the fees. And so they wanted the Home Office to waive the fee off so that they wouldn't have to pay for each one of them. And in that scenario, the family, obviously, they are not allowed to work because due to the Immigration Act 2014, anybody who is an illegal immigrant cannot work in this country. Otherwise, it will be also seen as committing a criminal offense. And so this family, they are not allowed to work. They obviously get bits of help here and there. And they made this application for fee waiver and they were rejected. And then they tried to put in a reconsideration for the Home Office to look at their circumstances and then obviously give them that fee waiver. But the Home Office policy at the time was looking at destitution. And destitution, in a brief sense, is basically saying that, well, if you can show that you do not have a place to sleep, you do not have any form of accommodation, you cannot even meet your essential needs such as food, clothing, water, then in that case, we would say that you are destitute. And usually people in scenarios where, for instance, the person is looking after children and she's in part-time work, you could say that because there are compelling and compassionate circumstances in such a situation, this person would not be able to afford the fees, and therefore this person will also be considered as destitute. They were saying that in this family situation, there was no such, should I say, reference to any destitution in their case. And so therefore, if they have help from others who can financially support them, then obviously they can make an application paying the fees that the Home Office had at the time. And this was about 2 years ago when they were making the application. So it was quite high. I think over £8,000 that they had to pay for the whole family. And they said there's no way we'll be able to afford the fee. And in that case as well, the High Court said Home Office should have been looking at the test of whether they could afford the fee and not whether they were destitute. And so those were two different tests that the Home Office were looking at, but the court was saying no, it shouldn't be whether they are destitute, it's whether they can afford to pay the fees that the Home Office have said they should pay in regards to their leave to remain application. So in that sense, that those cases brought about policies or guidance where the Home Office would then have to waive certain fees, and that has also been implemented into law, where the Nationality and Immigration fees regulation as well now considers instances where people can make an application based on the evidence that they can provide to show that they are not able to pay the fees that the Home Office have requested for them to pay, and therefore the Home Office should waive their application fee and the immigration health surcharge in order for them to make their human rights application. So in a nutshell,
Okay.
a fee waiver is the Home Office basically waiving their fees for application, and then the immigration health surcharge in regards to human rights applications. Yes.
Right. Okay. So, how about if someone is, a couple on Zambrano? Zambrano basically is you taking care of a British child, which your
Yes.
child who is British.
Yes.
Therefore, you are responsible for the child. You can take care of the child, and hence that's the reason why they've given you, um, they've given you
The derivative right to remain
exactly,
in
yeah, yeah.
Yes.
So in
So
such a
in such a
case, if
case,
you are applying for an extension, because it was
mm,
based on you being responsible, financially responsible for that British child, and you now
mm.
apply for a fee waiver, is it not going to contradict the reason you were given your stay in the first place?
Okay, so when you talk about Zambrano rights come from our EU case laws, and that is usually a right that a person will have under our immigration EEA regulations. That's not under our immigration rules. That will usually be based on our EU law. So the case is Zambrano, and in that case, the court, the European Court of Justice, said that obviously in a case where British, not just a child, but a British citizen requires the care of somebody who is a non-EEA or third country national, that in
Okay.
that case, yes, that person should be given a derivative right to reside with that child or with that adult relative who may be sick and needs the care of that national. And so that's why they call it derivative right, because you are
Okay.
deriving your right from that person. And so because that person needs that care and support, you are that person who can provide it, and therefore it's a derivative right. And in such an instance, obviously you are saying that you are the primary carer to this person, and the EU law obviously made it so that if you are making an application, previously you would have to pay £65. But in this current, should I say, Brexit situation, the government have made it such that all those who are applying under the EU regulations would have to now come under the EU settlement scheme.
Okay.
And so under the new EU settlement scheme, there are no fees required. You don't have to pay any fees whatsoever. Whereas somebody who is uh, 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 applying as a parent of a British child under the immigration rules will be applying for further leave to remain for 2.5 years. And in that circumstance, because the application fee is £1,052.20 plus the immigration health surcharge, which is currently £1,000. So that in total will be over £2,000 to 52. In that situation, the fees are very high. And because the fees are very high, that person will have to look at whether they can afford to pay the home office fees. And if they cannot afford to pay those fees, then that is where they would need to make a request for fee waiver. But in terms of the umbrella applications, currently they're free, and so anybody who is making such an application is will be a happy person because there's no fee required, like before. And even before it was £65, and now it's nothing. So those people can definitely make those applications without having to pay any fees whatsoever.
Okay. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, if you've just joined us, this is Heritage TV. It's hanging out with Vicky, and today's legal hour, we are with BWF solicitors, and today's discussion is applying for fee waiver during your application. And there might be situations whereby probably you might have lost your job, and you need to apply for an extension, and there's a deadline on your passport. What do you do? Is there any way you could apply to the Home Office, to waive the fee that you have to pay? So this is what our learned lawyer and partner of BWF Solicitors is here to give us guidance and advise us on how to go about things. If you want to contribute to the program, please drop me a line on Facebook and all social media handles. We are here to receive your questions and also answer them. So please, we need you to contact us, contribute to the program. If you have any suggestions, we are very happy to listen to that as well. Lawyer Eunice, I've got someone who is sending a question. She says, I'm a mother to a newborn baby and have not got money to pay for application. Can I apply for a fee waiver?
Okay, so in a situation like this is a mother who has just had a child. She hasn't explained whether the child is British or settled. But in a circumstance where if the child were to be a British citizen, you'll be looking at magnification on the immigration rules that this child is a qualifying child. He has British citizenship, and because you are the parent who is responsible for this child, you would want to make an application for leave to remain in the country because you have to care for this child. And so I'm assuming the father is probably not in the picture as he should be. And in such a situation, as she would not be allowed to work without any leave to remain, she will have to then consider whether she can make a fee waiver application. And in this kind of situation, you will be able to obviously look at the evidences that you have. So if it's bank statements that you have that will show that you are currently not working, but people here and there put some money into your account, you can evidence that through your bank statements. And usually when you're making the fee waiver application, it will ask for 6 months bank statements anyway. So you can evidence the 6 months bank statements, and it will usually ask for whichever accounts that you have. So if it's 2 accounts that you have, then you provide the details for the 2 accounts.
Okay.
And then also, if you haven't got a place to stay, you haven't got a place to lay your head, it will ask you, do you currently have accommodation? Is somebody helping you in terms of accommodation? And if you are living with a friend or somebody who basically helping or supporting you, you will provide evidence to say that this person is the one providing me with a room at the moment, or this person is the one renting a room for me, and that person will be able to provide a letter with proof of their identity, and also if they are renting it on your behalf, their tenancy agreement or whatever it is, that will show that this person is providing you with accommodation in this current situation. And so making that fee waiver application is pretty straightforward. You would just need to provide the evidence that you currently cannot afford to pay the home office fees, and therefore in such an instance they should provide you with fee waiver. And another thing that's very good in this current crisis is the fact that just this week the Home Office has also reissued a guidance based on exceptional circumstances where fee waiver can be basically granted. And so they're saying that if there's an issue or an event that has taken place which is not up to the individual or a group of people, but it's out of their control, the Home Secretary has that consideration to basically look at their case in compassionate and compelling circumstances and grant them a fee waiver. So currently we are in a crisis. Some people have been furloughed, some people have lost their jobs, some people obviously in this lady's situation are not working whatsoever. So if they look at the evidences provided and they think that these are exceptional circumstances where there is no way that this person can afford to pay the fee, then they would have to make that grant to her to obviously make the application without the fees being paid. So in a situation like that, once she provided the evidences, they will be compelled to make a grant of fee waiver in her case.
Okay, all right. The next question is, I think the person is asking, I live with my wife and daughter. My wife has 2.5 years leave to remain. My daughter is now British and I want to put in an application. Can I apply for fee waiver? In this question, I don't know, he hasn't even stated whether he's going through financial hardships, but he's just stated that he lives with his wife and daughter, and his wife has 2.5 years leave to remain, and the daughter is British. So he wants to know, he wants to put in an application. Can he apply for a fee waiver?
Okay, so in such a scenario,
yes,
like I
that's
said
the
before,
scenario.
due to the Immigration Act 2014, you are not allowed to work if you are illegal or an overstayer. So I'm assuming that he is not working. And so in such a case, I'm also going to assume that he's living together with his wife and his daughter. And so he's thinking, okay, now that my daughter is 10 years old, I can make an application on the fact that I also have parental responsibility for this child. And because obviously the immigration rules will usually look at the fact that he's with his partner and a child as well. He may not meet all of the eligibility requirements, but in this case, he wants to apply for a fee waiver before he makes his application. So once he's not working, that is proof that obviously he hasn't actually got the means, unless he's obviously doing some side jobs or underground jobs and his bank statement
cash in hand, is it?
Yes. And then the bank statement is showing he's basically earning more than enough. In such a case, if your bank statements are showing that you have more than enough to pay for the Home Office fee, then you wouldn't want to make an application for fee waiver, because then they would say that you have more than enough, so why are you coming to ask for a fee waiver? But in a case where you are only getting bits and pieces from people and your bank statements show that there's hardly anything coming through your account, then obviously that is a way of you saying that, well, there's hardly anything coming into my account. Yes, I live with my wife. Yes, I live with my daughter. My wife is probably doing part-time work, because with fee waiver applications, when you're living with a family, it will ask for the financial circumstances of each person living within the household. So if, for instance, the wife was earning, let's say, £2,000 a month and she has some savings left over, then they would say, okay, in this circumstance, we can see that you can afford to pay the fees because your wife is currently working and she has some money left over to pay the fees. But if your circumstances are such that maybe the wife is doing part-time work, he's not working, their bills and rent and expenses are high because they have to consider every evidence that you can provide to show that there's no way you can afford to pay the fee. And they look at the bank statements, they look at the pay slips of your wife, they look at the bills and expenses that you've provided, and they can see that the expenses are way higher than the income that is coming in. And in such a case, it will be very difficult for you to pay those fees. Then obviously they have to make that provision for you to be able to have the fees waived off so that you can then make the application. And in cases like this, I like the fact that their guidance also provides the fact that when caseworkers receive applications for fee waivers, they are supposed to look and consider the evidences as promptly as possible.
Yeah.
And so once they have that evidence and they have been obviously they've received the fee waiver application, they are supposed to make decisions as promptly as possible in those cases. Sometimes it may take longer than 3 weeks, but they are supposed to make those decisions as promptly as possible.
Okay.
And because they also have emails available, you can always email them to find out if they have everything and if there's anything else you are supposed to provide in their decision making.
Gentlemen, it's getting more interesting. I would like us to take a break and we'll be right back in a minute.
Everybody in London, have you heard that Heritage Television has come up with something new? All your functions and celebrations can now be multi-camera live stream that was only reserved for the rich and famous. Having a function in London can be viewed clean and clear immediately from any part of the world. Trust Heritage TV to give you a better reach. Heritage Television also does photography that will make you the envy of all your friends and family. Heritage Television is the best. All your functions like birthdays, funerals, weddings, church anniversaries or harvest. Heritage Television is the master. We are in the heart of London with an ultra-modern equipped studio. You can call us on 020-800-46100 or email us info@heritagetv.co.uk or mobile 0734 1234 560. Heritage Television will do you proud.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. A lot of people are sending so many questions, and I'm wondering if we'll be able to tackle all the questions since time is fast spent, but I'll try my very best. to put the questions to Lawyer Eunice. If you want to call the studio line, it's 0203 983 3553. The number again, 0203 983 553. We've got someone who sent, this time he wants us to mention his name. His name is Olebode Oladele. He says, is there a law backing you to present documentation when applying for a fee waiver as a first timer applying for leave to remain? And if you don't have documents to back you, what legal backing can you get for the fee waiver application to be successful?
Okay, so as I was explaining before, the fee waiver discretion came about as a result of cases such as Al Omar and Al Carter, where people were making human rights applications and the policy that the Home Office had did not provide them with that, should I say, freedom to make a fee waiver application if they couldn't afford the fees. And so it's become a requirement under the Immigration and Nationality Fees Regulation 2018 and 19, and currently the 2020 regulations. And in that instance, if you are making a human rights application, let's say for leave to remain in the UK or further leave because you were granted 2.5 and then you're now going for another 2.5 years, you will be able to make an application for fee waiver. Usually when you make the fee waiver application online, it will ask you about your accommodation, it will ask you about your financial circumstances, whether you have somebody who is supporting you financially, and it will ask you if you're working. But as I said before, due to the Immigration Act 2014, if you're an overstayer or an illegal immigrant, you would not be able to work because it will be seen as a criminal offense to do so. So in such circumstances, if you are saying that you're not working and you don't have any bank accounts, but then people provide you with money here and there, those people would have to obviously provide their letters and then identification, and then obviously proof of their accounts to show that they are the ones that are providing for you here and there. And then each month, probably if they're providing you with 10-20 pounds, you will have to show that this person gives me cash in hand, and they have obviously written a letter to confirm that this is what they do for me. If they are providing you with accommodation, Mr. So and so will have to provide evidence of accommodation to say that Mr. So and so is providing me with accommodation, and then they will provide proof of their ID and also proof of their address to show that they are the ones providing you with the accommodation. So if you personally don't have evidence to show, such as pay slips or bank statements, because you haven't been able to open an account due to the fact that as a result of the Immigration Act 2014 as well, you wouldn't be able to open an account as an illegal entrant or somebody who has overstayed their leave in the UK. And so in such situations, of course, the people that are supporting you would be the ones that will provide support letters and also evidence of their IDs and proof of the support that they are giving to you. And that is also made, should I say, more available when you are making the fee waiver application, and it will tell you the kind of evidence that they would require from third parties when you are making that application. So yes, of course, he can make that application. There is law to back the fact that he can make an application for fee waiver, and those people that are supporting him should provide evidence that they are doing so, and then he can make the application for fee waiver.
All right, wonderful. I must say that we are getting so many questions coming through on YouTube, Facebook, all our social media handles. There are so many. So I think what we will do is either we come back again to continue this topic, or I'll send those questions to Lawyer Eunice, and for Lawyer Eunice to make contact with them to answer any queries. Whichever way will make sure that everybody is happy. Lawyer Eunice, finally, I've got Sarah who sent in this question. She says, I have 3 children and currently receives benefits. I'm due to apply for an extension of my leave to remain. Can I apply for a fee waiver?
Okay, so
that's
in a
Sarah's
situation
question.
like this, so in a situation like this, obviously she is also receiving benefits, and usually in a case like this, she will have to use the money for whichever expenses that she has. And to say that she is receiving benefits and therefore she should have money left over is not always the case.
Yeah.
So you have to obviously look at the person's evidence that they can use as proof that they cannot afford to pay the home office fee. And if indeed her expenses are way more than the income or the benefits that she's receiving, she would have to show that because there are compelling circumstances, the home office should have to consider her application for fee waiver compassionately, and considering those compelling circumstances where she's receiving benefits, maybe the fact that she has children and the bills that she has are way higher than the benefits that she's receiving, and so she cannot afford to pay for the home office fees. And if her children are included in the application, then it means that she can't afford to pay for herself and the children at the same time. And you can make an application for fee waiver for yourself and for any dependents that are applying with you. And in such a situation, if the person is unable to show that, well, because my expenses are high, then the person will have to provide more evidence. Because in a situation like this, it's for you to prove to them that you cannot afford the fee. And so whether it's you going online, because a lot of the bills nowadays are done online and it's not, should I say, posted to your address. So if it means that you have to go online, get evidences of the bills that you are paying, and the rent, the credit cards, and all the rest of it, then obviously do that, so that at least all of those things will be considered when the fee waiver application is also made to the home office. So it doesn't matter that that person is receiving benefits, as long as they can show that the expenses that they have is way more and the circumstances are such that it's compelling. There's no way she'll be able to save enough for herself, or there's no way she'll be able to save enough for herself and her children's application. And therefore, the home office will have to look at her application for fee waiver and consider those compelling and compassionate circumstances and grant her a fee waiver. So in such a case, regardless of the fact that she's collecting benefits, they will look at it on a case-to-case basis and look at the evidence that has been provided as well, in order for her to be granted a fee waiver in terms of her further leave to remain.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Oh my goodness. Time, because we have to make way for the next program. So it wouldn't be fair for us to take their time. So I think we'll leave it here. Possibly we will, but I'll make sure I take all the details of those sending in questions on YouTube, Facebook. I'll get all your contact details and we will arrange something. Either Lawyer Eunice comes back to continue with this discussion, or she will make contact with you to make sure whatever questions you've asked is addressed. So that's no issue. Lawyer Eunice, your last words before we end the show.
Yeah. And so in regards to those that are, sending in questions and want answers, I'm going to obviously put my number out for you to also make contact with me. And if you have any queries whatsoever, definitely give me a call and then we will take it from there. My number is 075 3581 3910. So 075 3581 3910. So I'm a solicitor at BWF Solicitors, and we are situated in Seven Sisters, very close to the Seven Sisters Underground Station. And the address is the fourth floor of Anna House, 214 to 218, Tottenham High Road. Our postcode is N15 4NP. Our offices are open from Monday to Friday from 9:30 a.m. to 6 p.m. And if you want to contact me after the program, you may do so, and then we'll take it from there. Thank you so much, Vicky. I know this has been an interesting topic.
Eunice, yeah, please don't end there at the moment. I'm just laughing my head off. I've got John, who is asked this funny question. This question is not related to fee waiver, but he's pleading with me. Said, please, Vicky, can you ask lawyer Eunice just this one question? What is the difference between a barrister and a lawyer?
Okay. Usually, in Africa, they all do the same thing. But when you come to the UK, there is a difference between a solicitor and a barrister in that the barrister is more of an advocate. So the barrister would usually be the one that would usually go to the courts, especially the high courts like the High Court, the Court of Appeal, the Supreme Court. They are the ones that usually advocate for a client in court. And solicitors are the ones that usually deal with the client's day-to-day matters. And they are the ones that usually will go to the smaller courts, for instance, the tribunals and the magistrate courts, and sometimes the high courts. But usually the solicitors are the ones that deal with the day-to-day issues that the clients do have. And there are two separate boards that look to the interest of the solicitor and the barrister. So a solicitor is usually regulated in England by the Solicitors Regulation Authority, and then the barristers also have their bar council that usually regulates them. So in England, there's that separation, but slowly we are merging to be one, like in Africa. In Africa, it's just the same thing. You always say, "Oh, I'm going to barrister so and so."
Exactly.
But in England, there's that separation, and
I see.
some years down the line, it will merge.
So a lawyer can progress to be a barrister?
Yeah, so a solicitor can definitely progress to be a barrister. All barristers and solicitors are lawyers, but there's that separation between a solicitor and a barrister. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, John, there you are. Lawyer Eunice has answered your question. I wouldn't have, but it was so fun the way you were pleading with me to ask this question because it's between your mind. So, on that note, ladies and gentlemen, we'll have to leave Lawyer Eunice. She's given her details for you to get in touch with her if you have any queries or you want to put in an application. She works with the award-winning law firm BWF Solicitors. Eunice, send our regards to Lawyer Ben, Lawyer Richard. I hear Cynthia's birthday is today as well. So I don't know. Maybe I'll crash her party. It said, we cannot go to anybody's house. So it's unfortunate. I can't be there.
It's fine.
Government guidelines.
We'll do a
COVID. Yeah. So you tell her that I wish her a happy birthday. And long life and prosperity, and all the team at BWF Solicitors. Yeah, Heritage TV, we appreciate you. We adore you guys for your support, teaming up with us to educate people on their immigration issues. So on that note, thank you, Lawyer Eunice. Viewers,
thank you.
We hope to see you again same time next week. Either we continue
Yeah.
this topic or we'll bring you another topic, and we'll take it from there. So thank you so much. Stay
Thank
blessed.
you.
Please
You too.
keep the government guidelines regarding COVID,
Yes.
and make sure you wash your hands. Always put on your nose masks when you're out and about, and please keep your distance. Thank you. Stay blessed, and I love you all. Stay safe.
Bye.
At BWF Solicitors, we take pride in our client service. As a niche law practice, we are conscious of the demands of our clients. We always offer a friendly, listening ear and sympathetic attitude. We've worked with thousands of people all across the UK in all areas of personal legal services. We have received great feedback and reviews from our clients. We are located at Seven Sisters in Tottenham on the 4th floor of the Anna House, right on top of the Victoria Line train station for your utmost convenience. We have a friendly office and provide all of the refreshments necessary while you wait to see a lawyer. We are dedicated to our clients and have a successful record of serving our clients. Solicitors of England and Wales are of high quality and are bound by the highest professional standards. We are officers of the court and are bound by standards of integrity, competence and conduct as part of our responsibility to uphold rule of law. Our solicitors and lawyers care about your case and are committed to providing the best possible service to you in the most considerate and careful manner. We hold 2 Law Society quality marks. Law Society accreditation helps to demonstrate that we have attained the requisite standard in the area of law and have the requisite expertise. BWF Solicitors, we're here to help you with your legal services when you need us.
Everybody in London, have you heard that Heritage Television has come up with something new? All your functions and celebrations can now be multi-camera live stream. That was only reserved for the rich and famous. Having a function in London can be viewed clean and clear immediately from any part of the world. Trust Heritage TV to give you a better reach. Heritage Television also does photography that will make you the envy of all your friends and family. Heritage Television is the best. All your functions like birthdays, funerals, weddings, church anniversaries or harvest. Heritage Television is the master. We are in the heart of London with an ultra-modern equipped studio. You can call us on 020-800-46100 or email us info@heritagetv.co.uk or mobile 0734 1234 560. Heritage Television will do you proud.